This tornado warning is in effect only for Orange County, and I believe that is until 11:20 p.m. around that time. Alden, could you confirm with that time? 11:15 p.m. All right, so we're seeing some areas that could have that area to strengthen. So Paoli, I think for the next 20 minutes, it's safe to say, go ahead and head into your basement. Even if you have to wake up your kids, tell them to bring their favorite stuffed animal, go downstairs and just wait it out, because this has a potential to maybe strengthen just along the edge of this line. It's not one lone thunderstorm. It's many vortices is what I call them, spinning up, and could drop and produce some damage right along it, especially if you have anybody that's in the third floor of your home, second floor of your home. Roofs can get damaged pretty quickly, and that could cause some injuries. So we don't want any of that to happen. This is a tornado warning for that potential. We do not have any confirmation of anything on the ground, but if we could go ahead and put a track on it, one of those long tracks right along the edge off to the east.
We'll put a track on it, and then I'm also being told we can see hail now falling in French Lick.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let's
get this track on first, really quick. That'll be in Paoli in 5 minutes there. Chambersburg at 11:08, Livonia at 11:12, Hardinsburg, Indiana at 11:18. As we're looking out now there in the West Baden Springs Hotel in French Lick, you can see some of that larger hail coming down, possibly at least quarter size or larger than that, and frequent lightning. These are very electric storms, so we're seeing a lot of lightning with this, as they've just issued a new severe thunderstorm warning for that same location. That's until 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 10:30 Central Time, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and at least quarter-sized hail. So it's a very busy night here, Colleen.
It's a storm of many traits. I mean, we have a live feed showing you hail falling, and on that right hand of your screen, that is exactly where that storm is. So Paoli here right now is your time to head downstairs, hold on tight. You're about to start to see that heavy rain. Now on that left hand of your screen over French Lake, you see all of that deep red starting to light up, especially after that scan just passed through. That is picking up some of that hail. So after the tornado threat passes, then you start to see that hail threat behind that system. So it's a divide. If we're seeing a tornado, it's going to be right along that leading edge and some of those kinks that maybe even showing some signs of strengthening right along that area. And then behind it, all of that deep red is showing some hail, which is confirmed and falling as we speak. So this is a tornado warning in effect for Orange County. If you're tuning in just now, this is the only tornado warning that we're watching out there that is in our area for Orange County here until 11:15 p.m. So it's a slow mover, but I think Paoli here for the next few minutes. And then by the time we head towards 11:04, it'll be over in Chambersburg. And looking at that reflectivity, I mean, it's really hard to pinpoint exactly where we're seeing any rotation, which is good. We want it to be difficult because it's not obvious that we're seeing any areas that could be producing a tornado. But again, if it is producing something, it would be right along those leading edge, a little difficult to see. So multiple areas that we're watching that have that potential to strengthen further and drop a tornado. Again, we're a little bit far from the radar, so we also have to take that in mind, that it could be a little bit stronger than what we're seeing here on that radar as that radar beam goes up with height. So Paoli, right now, there could be a potential tornado over you as we speak. So if you hear any heavy rain or any loud winds, head into the basement. I think for the next 5 minutes, just hold on. We're going to start to see that clear out, and then the hail threats start to enter your area. That second area that we're watching is just to the southwest of Paoli. This is a rural area of Orange County, Indiana, just southwest of Highway 150 and north of Patoka Lake. So that is where that tornado warning is in effect. This is the only tornado warning that we're tracking here for Orange County until 11:15 p.m. So really a hail threat. We could be starting to see some strengthening maybe, but I think at this point, Alden, it's possible to see a tornado over Paoli. That's why that warning isn't in place right now.
Correct. And again, that tornado warning goes until 11:15 p.m. So remember your tornado safety precautions. We go over this all the time. The lowest level, most interior portion of whatever room you're in, away from those outside walls and windows. You can see those instructions now there on your screen. You want to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. You want to cover yourself and go again to that lowest floor possible, or seek shelter in an interior stairwell if you happen to live in a higher rise building. If you need to, you can take blankets and cover yourself with them. We always tell you to go ahead and get that bicycle helmet or get that football helmet with you as well. Thankfully, we don't have any significant confirmation. We don't have any confirmation of a tornado, but this is, again, a situation where you just don't want to take things for granted and just go ahead and get down into that safe space. If you don't have a TV in your basement, you can always take us on your phone. We're streaming live on WHAS11.com or WHAS11 app. In addition to Facebook, YouTube as well, you can get all of those alerts directly to your phone for free. So that's what we're keeping our closest eye on at the moment. Looking back at radar now, it's a fairly active radar. Things have lit up quite a bit. And speaking of literal light, these are very electric storms. There's a lot of lightning with these. And in fact, we can do a lightning count over the last 30 minutes. We're looking at over 1,200 lightning strikes across the WHAS 11 viewing area over the last 30 minutes, and that's continuing to grow. So these are very electric storms, and these are very probably somewhat loud storms too, Colleen.
Yeah, definitely loud storms and all modes of severe weather. We're getting multiple reports of hail. Now that's just reported pea-sized hail on Gray Fox Drive in New Albany, Indiana. So two different areas that we're watching. The first are these firing up thunderstorms that could be producing some hail. In fact, we're getting some reports of it, but I think the tornado threat is going to remain along that leading edge of a potential spin-up tornado along those leading edge of that storm. So zooming on into that one tornado warning, let's go ahead and get an update with it because we were watching it and it looked possible at that time. Nothing too significant that we're watching over downtown Paoli, Orange County right now, and you can see looking at this reflectivity, it's pretty straight. When we get straight lines, that's showing broadening, meaning it's kind of blowing out, more of a wind event more than a tornado event. However, if we're happening to see something starting to strengthen, it'll be east of Paoli along Highway 150 and then just west of Hardinsburg right now. So that's that potential area of maybe seeing some rotation right now within this tornado warning that's in effect until 11:15 p.m. We have Chief Meteorologist Ben Pine, and right now tracking those storms.
Yeah, good evening, Colleen. Do you have my mic up? Are we all good? Okay, cool. Here's a look at where we are tracking this thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado, heading towards Livonia at about 11:07. Hardinsburg being your place of shelter here. That's heading your way at about 11:13 into South Central area. Vocational school at 11:13 as well. So we're talking East Central Orange County, moving into West Central Washington County. So just off to the southwest of Salem. Here is Highway 56, and then into the Becks Mill area at 11:16. So, Alden, I want to go back and do an overview of the entire situation here. It looks like we got that tornado watch that goes until 4 a.m. for much of the area. We've got a slew of severe thunderstorm warnings. We've got individual cells popping up out ahead of the line of storms, and we were hoping that this line would be on a weakening trend as we progress through the nighttime. Unfortunately, this line came in a little bit ahead of schedule, so it's still working with a very juicy, unstable atmosphere and the wind shear as well. So we've got the ingredients for all the severe weather that Colleen has been talking about here over the last half hour to 45 minutes. So we have the severe thunderstorm warnings capable of producing hail upwards of around a quarter size to maybe golf ball size hail, inch in size, which can do some damage to the roof of your home or your car. So you definitely want to get inside whenever you hear that severe thunderstorm warning happen in your area. Also, damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. Those straight line winds, they can do tree and power line damage, cause some power outages across the area. Not going to be surprised if we get some scattered power outages with this squall line. And the broken line of thunderstorms out ahead of it as well. So back to Max HD radar. There you can see it is just clusters of showers and thunderstorms. After a record high of 82 degrees, we just have an ample supply of this fuel for the storms across the area here this evening. Thankfully, they're moving at about 45 to 50 miles per hour, so they are going to be in and out. It's not going to be a long-lived threat, and you may want to just stay awake here a little while longer with us until we can move these storms through your area. We're going to let you know when it's in the clear. We're also going to let you know and give you a storm track when it's going to be heading your way. General line storm track here along this squall line. And the problem is we get these little notches, as Colleen and Alden been talking about, and that's where you get the brief spin-up tornadoes, which can be often an EF0, EF1, similar to very strong straight-line damaging winds. So heading towards the Louisville metro area, around 1150, sometimes there can be little pulses in that line that strengthen and become a little quicker than other areas, and it can speed up. So give or take here, sometimes it can come in a little bit quicker, a little bit slower, but around 1150 in Louisville as we approach midnight, into Elizabethtown at about 12:15, just after midnight, into the Bardstown area at 12:30, into Frankfort at 12:50. Now, we've got a large portion of our storm team here. We've got folks checking reports. When it is safe to do so, you can send us your reports once those storms have moved on through your area. Your photos at WHAS11.com, and many other ways. You can contact us on Facebook, and you can tweet us at WHAS11 on the X platform. So here in Paoli, this is the main concern. Alden, would you agree there's not a whole lot of organization from previous what you saw?
I would agree, and we just have kind of been looking at this storm pulse up every now and then, but as Colleen has been saying too, it does appear to be primarily almost a straight line wind threat. Now, we have had a history of tornadoes today alone. We had that earlier EF2 that impacted parts of Madison, Indiana, and near the Madison, Indiana areas, and Milton, Kentucky, excuse me. But as of right now, I don't see too much with that warning there for Orange County, and they did cancel the tornado warning for Du Bois County. So this is really the only storm that we're looking at the moment with any concern. We don't see any other major reports coming in at the moment either. So right now we're kind of okay. They might go ahead and let that warning expire since it only goes for another 10 minutes. Other areas of concern that we'll be watching, that severe thunderstorm warning near Palmyra at the moment. That's producing 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and about quarter-inch hail. And I'm seeing several reports of pea-sized hail across the area. And they're going to allow that tornado warning, the National Weather Service is saying, Ben, to expire at 11:15 p.m. there for Paoli and the eastern parts of Orange County.
That is definitely good news as far as that tornado warning, but definitely stay inside, stay in your place of shelter. If you're under a severe thunderstorm warning with this very potent squall line that's going to be moving through, we're just going to do a tour. We're going to cycle through where we have the threats, where we have the strong and severe thunderstorms here, probably over the next half hour. It might take a little bit longer if these storms continue to stay very strong across the area. So from north to south we'll go. We'll go a little bit farther north up I-65. Strong thunderstorm here over North Vernon and Jennings County, crossing over I-65. Can we put the lightning strikes on as well, Alden? And we'll just say we're going to get frequent lightning strikes. These are going to be loud thunderstorms. There was lightning crossing the sky on my way into work here. So these are your kind of late spring, early summer-like thunderstorms that have a lot of energy to work with. And then as you look off to the southwest, there's where the severe thunderstorm warning begins in Washington County. It's bumping up to Salem, Indiana. And as Colleen was also mentioning, all those different hazards are in play here. You've got the golf ball size hail potential, damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. Also torrential rain. It's going to be hard if you're going to be out driving in this. Blinding rainfall coming down included in the threats that we have here. Around Palmyra, we've got this thunderstorm out ahead of the main squall line that could be producing some large hail. It's moving from southeastern Washington County, Indiana, near Palmyra. So there's Highway 150, and then heading towards Highway 60 in the Borden Valley. So heading very soon over the Borden, Indiana area, where we see the darker colors of purple, reddish colors. That's where we have the potential for some hail. We don't want this to start curling or looking like a notch, because then it could have some tornado potential potential. We might want to investigate the velocities in some of these individual storms every once in a while as well. And then to the east of that, we've got some just general thunderstorms that aren't producing severe weather, but heavy rain over much of Clark County from Henryville over to New Wash. And this is just off to the north of downtown Louisville right now. We've had also some hail reports, not that large, but in parts of the metro and up to the northeast towards Prospect. Now, Prospect, it's probably a loud thunderstorm, heavy rain coming down in areas off to the east and south of LaGrange, possibly some hail, maybe some dime to nickel size hail coming down in those thunderstorms. And these storms, again, out ahead still of the main line that we have that's going to be pushing through here over the next couple of hours.
And Ben, a lot of those hail reports we've gotten have been around 1 inch in diameter, so about quarter size. Brownstown and Crawford County also reporting about 1 inch hail up there to our north, where they don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings. Let's see here. They're also going to be issuing a new severe thunderstorm warning for Harrison, Washington, and Clark County, Indiana, here in the next few minutes. Getting reports of pea to marble-sized hail down in Hardinsburg, Kentucky. So these are hailers, as we would say. A lot of gusty winds with these, frequent lightning and hail, small, medium, really hail of all sizes is what we're going to be looking at for tonight.
And as you know, to keep hail that large lofted up in the air, you've got to have some very strong winds. So anytime you have large hail, you're going to have a damaging wind threat as well. So it looks like there's going to be warnings all up and down that squall line. So as we back up our view, just be ready for this severe thunderstorm line right here to just continue to progress to the east here as it's moving to the east anywhere from around 45 to 55 miles per hour. Some intense lightning coming down as well here in Corden. So we've got this extended area of severe weather that's going to continue to push to the east here and get closer to Louisville as we approach midnight. Of course, out ahead of this squall line and this damaging straight line wind threat, you've got these individual thunderstorms that are putting down lots of lightning, heavy rainfall, and the potential for some hail as well. And we have non-severe thunderstorms around Shepherdsville, Bullitt County, Fort Knox, Radcliffe, off to the southwest, all over Breckenridge County, Irvington, Hardinsburg, and down towards Rough River, down the Western Kentucky Parkway into western portions of Grayson County around Caneyville. So not severe necessarily, but still some strong thunderstorms. Just want to stay inside and wait this all out and not go out and try to navigate through some of the pouring rain that we have out there as well. So the main threat that we are going to continue to watch, if we want to go ahead and put another track on this, Alden, as it continues to move to the east, and going to get closer to Louisville as we go minute by minute. I know we've also had some cameras out there around French Lick. We might check in on those again here in just a moment after this track. Heading into Palmyra in about 10-15 minutes at 11:25. Brandenburg at 11:43 into Louisville Metro. So that timing's pretty close to the last track we gave you, which was 11:51, 11:55. So again, give or take about 10 minutes just to be prepared. And then heading into Shepherdsville, Newcastle areas just after midnight tonight. So pretty quick moving line. So you can see that the areas that no longer have a severe weather threat are to the west of that line. So Patoka Lake area, much of Du Bois County, no longer has a threat of severe weather for tonight. As is the case, what we often see, once you get the main line through, then you don't have to worry about the severe weather anymore, and you can go back to sleep. So here is a look at a very strong thunderstorm, which looks like it's kind of pulsing up in strength here, getting a little bit broader and bigger, covering almost all of West Clark now, West Clark County. So here's Starlight near Huberts, and then Highway 60 up through the Borden Valley into Pekin. So it looks like we've got some good hail that's going to be coming down here around the Borden, Starlight areas. This moves off to the east. Severe thunderstorm warning. What does that go? It's about 11:30, 11:45?
11:45 for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and a quarter-sized hail. Yeah, it's moving to the east at 45 miles per hour.
And very near the Greenville area. We'll continue to watch for some possible rotation on the southwest side of that storm. And Alden's putting a track on the actual hail core, which is right there. That's that deeper purple color, that pink color that you see right there. So the hail core heading towards Bennettsville, Deem Lake, in the Memphis area, Charlestown here over the next 15 minutes or so. Oldham Acres, Goshen, Hibernia into Dimpleytown as well over the next next half hour to 45 minutes. Have these mostly been still tracking around 45?
Yes.
So 45 mile per hour storms here. So just off to the south of there, the Knobs, not a severe thunderstorm, but each of these individual cells we'll be watching here very closely. Expanding out the view again, we're going to kind of cycle. And I want to show you the loop of our entire WHAS11 viewing area with a tornado watch that goes until 4 a.m. We're here for you. We're going to be on while this threat continues. While we don't necessarily have a tornado warning at this time, we've got what we have severe thunderstorm warnings with extra information, what we call tags, which means tornado possible. So these little spin-ups can happen, as Colleen mentioned earlier, in a moment's notice. And so we've got to watch this line very, very closely for the potential of these little notches, these little curls in the line that can produce these individual tornadoes, and the potential of just some damaging straight line winds. So right now, along and north of the Ohio River is where we have much of southern Indiana real estate covered in severe thunderstorm warnings. And then not severe necessarily, but strong thunderstorms nonetheless, lining up from Metro Louisville down to the southwest, just west of Elizabethtown. And then waiting for this line to push through. Once that's gone, we are in the clear as far as severe weather for the rest of tonight. Who is in the clear as far as severe weather? It looks like Seymour, Jackson County, Indiana, Bedford, Lawrence County. Pretty soon, much of Orange County, once we get that line through, you're going to be in the clear as far as severe weather, and Du Bois County is out of that threat of severe weather for the rest of tonight. So again, it won't take too long to get this entire line moving through the area. And we can try to load up Futurecast here in just a moment too, if you've got that graphic loaded up. But here's a look at the overall view of the tornado watch. It looks like we're now out of that watch in Bedford and Seymour, as I mentioned, in the clear of severe weather. And then we still have the tornado watch covering much of Kentucky and including Metro Louisville until 4 o'clock this morning. So Futurecast handling it okay, I guess I would say, as far as the initial thunderstorm activity, but just kind of looking at the overall view of the activity as it moves on through the area. So by 1 o'clock, it looks like it's off to the east of Louisville. And remember, our latest track here just a few minutes ago had it moving into Louisville just before midnight. So give it about a half hour move through Jefferson County. And so it'll be off to the east by 1 a.m. or even maybe a little bit before that. So this is 2 o'clock in the morning. As we head through the late night hours, we start to lose the juice and the fuel for these thunderstorms. So we do hope that these thunderstorms will be in a weakening trend as we get after midnight, after 1 a.m. So hopefully these thunderstorms won't necessarily be severe. Yes, we'll be here to watch it very closely, but there you still see some rain left over here through the late night hours off to the south and southeast of Louisville. But generally, that severe weather threat will decrease, we certainly hope so, as we head after midnight and lose some of that available energy for the thunderstorms. Back to the tracking, we go to Max HD radar. Remember, if there is a tornado warning, you want to get into the lowest level of your home. As many walls between you and the outside. So the most interior portion of your home, that might be a hall closet, that might be a bathroom. Try to stay away from the windows too in case they break out. You might want to get pillows, blankets, maybe even the sports equipment, the helmet, whatever can help you out to protect yourself from any flying debris. So these are all just preparation things to think about. Just be ready if a warning is issued for you and your family to head into your safe place. The lowest level of your home, of course, is always the best place to go. Tons and tons of lightning strikes. This is a lightning factory, these clusters of showers and thunderstorms, kind of disorganized area of showers and thunderstorms now with 1,500 lightning strikes. So I don't think this is necessarily the higher tornado threat that parts of Indiana saw earlier today and this evening up in Winchester, east of Muncie, Indiana, north of Richmond. Their fatal tornado up that way a little bit earlier this evening. So looks like kind of transitioning to a very heavy rain, lightning, thunder, and damaging wind threat. So straight line winds going to be the main impact. Also the potential of some large damaging hail that we're going to need to watch out for too, which the main hail threat still looks like it's in Clark County, Indiana. So this area just about 10, 15 minutes off to the northwest of Louisville is where we see some of the heaviest rain and possibly some strong winds as well. Might want to check the velocity inside this thunderstorm that's over Borden, Indiana. So not looking too extreme. Maybe is this storm relative or base?
Storm relative.
All right, might check the base too, just to see if we get any. We're looking for maybe some blue areas, which on our color palette makes us shows us that wind speeds could be in excess of 50 to 60 miles per hour. So we're not seeing that extreme wind threat, thankfully, here in Clark County. Just some kind of broad rotation in general there. As you expand out the view, Alden, out west, I know that Squall line had a lot of blue colors earlier. Still seeing some pockets here, some jet stream winds maybe attached aloft in those thunderstorms. So over 60 mile per hour wind potential moving through Crawford County around the English area. So you're looking down west of Louisville, west down Interstate 64. So about half hour, 45 minutes west of Louisville is where we see the potential of some damaging straight line winds. The storm's now starting to move to the east of Jasper and Du Bois County. So this is all along this line is where we're going to have that severe thunderstorm warning continuing and likely moving into the Louisville area just before midnight. So as I mentioned, it's about a half hour west of Louisville. It's moving at about 45 miles per hour. So on that speed, that's going to move it into the Louisville area like around 1150, it looks like bumping up to the Ohio River. So new track here with Alden putting that on there and heading towards the Corden area at about 11:30 and just about 10 minutes heads up there. I know, Corden, you already have some heavy rain around your area, but we've got the squall line, the wind threat that's going to be moving in next. And same for you, Brandenburg, about 11:40, 11:45, that thunderstorm heading your direction into, again, Louisville metro area. That track has been consistent. So heads up, Louisville at 11:50, to about midnight. So right before midnight, we're looking at this complex of storms, the squall line moving in and possibly producing some damaging straight line winds. Also, can't rule out a quick isolated spin-up tornado. Shepherdsville into your area at about 12:15, so moving through Bullitt County and into the Newcastle area at about 12:30. That would be moving into Henry County, so moving east of Louisville by 12:30, probably before 1 o'clock this morning. So it looks like Paoli, thankfully, much of Orange County is out of the way of the severe weather, in the clear, as the line is now moving through Washington County and through the Salem area. So this next is going to be heading towards Scottsburg, towards Interstate 65. So much of Clark County under a strong thunderstorm, not necessarily a big wind threat, but a hail threat out ahead of the squall line that's going to be moving through next. Up next as well, we've got Harrison County, Indiana, that's going to be experiencing some strong winds, some heavy rain, lightning, and thunder. Same for Meade and Breckenridge counties. So that warning, this was expected to be expanded over Harrison County, correct?
I'm sorry, repeat that. I was looking at something else. So
ahead of that squall line, that severe thunderstorm warning expected to be expanded over Harrison County?
I haven't seen anything about that quite yet. Okay. They've been issuing weather statements, though, for some of those other storms, primarily for 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts and penny-sized hail, so not anything that's near the technical severe weather, severe thunderstorm criteria at the moment. But it's starting to race out ahead of that warning a little bit, so we could be seeing a weakening trend here, Ben, which of course would be a good thing.
Yes, that would be very good. And if you get a moment, for the Cape. That's to look at the fuel for the thunderstorms. We'll just look over a few of the ingredients here for severe weather and see if we see that is on a diminishing trend. So this is the juice, sometimes what we call it, just the food, the fuel for thunderstorms. If thunderstorms grow, how much energy do they have to become severe? So we still have some of that right ahead of the line. Notice behind the line, you get rid of the storm fuel. So just need that line to pass through, and then you don't have to worry about severe weather for the rest of the night. And that is the case now around Seymour, very soon around Salem, Paoli, Bedford, Jasper. So we're going to be clearing more and more areas of southern Indiana first. And then after midnight, we'll have the storms moving through metro Louisville. And yeah, it has been, like I said earlier, a lightning factory, just flashes everywhere, streaking across the sky. A lot of energy for these thunderstorms here after that record high of 82 that we had earlier this afternoon. There you can see the cloud-to-ground classic lightning strike there. And we've also had a lot of the lightning strikes crawling across the sky. So this is looking from around Hurstbourne Parkway, Interstate 64. This is downtown right there. So we don't have the thunderstorm in Louisville yet, but it is not too far just over the river. And this is looking back towards the west from about 10 miles out. This is our Midway University cam, part of our U of L Health Camera Network. Also mentioned, it is still warm out there, 74 degrees. So these storms, you can feel the mugginess outside, which it is still wintertime technically, but it feels more like May across the area. And of course, May is peak severe weather season, so we've got the ingredients for obviously the severe weather. Another view here from downtown, looking down to Broadway and our downtown streets out towards the west, with more of the frequent cloud to ground lightning strikes. So that's Mother Nature's #1 way to alert you and just tell you to stay inside until it's over. If you hear the thunder roar, stay indoors. So as we go back to Max HD radar, we'll just kind of circle through and cycle through and do a tour of the radar again. It is very, very colorful, to say the least, here throughout much of the viewing area. Now I know you guys are still waiting for the thunderstorm activity here in Bardstown, south of the Bluegrass Parkway, down towards Campbellsville, but you're going to get some of that soon, and hopefully with time we will start to lose some of the energy and see a weakening trend continue. We do not have a tornado warning at this time, but we do have a number of severe thunderstorms that are capable of producing some damaging winds, some large hail, and lots of lightning and thunder, and some gusty winds included with some torrential rainfall. So a little bit closer to home here in Louisville as we zoom in, and then we'll kind of spread out. Severe thunderstorm warning just to the north that includes Sellersburg and Charlestown, and a little piece as well of Oldham County just to the north of Prospect, for that big cell right there that is now moving east of Borden and now heading towards Sellersburg and Charlestown with a hail threat as it moves right over I-65 between Henryville and Sellersburg, and only about 10 miles off to the north of Louisville. And then in Louisville itself, we now have a thunderstorm. If we want to go ahead and put the lightning strikes back on, see if we have any lightning coming down. Yeah, we've got a number of lightning strikes with this cell right here. Now, this storm is not severe, but it could be putting down some small hail and some gusty winds as it moves into Shively now, into downtown in the next few minutes. That storm is not the main squall line that we've been predicting to move into Louisville by around 11:50 to midnight. That's this line right here, which Alden and Colleen, I think, is looking fairly ragged, maybe a little bit compared to what you guys had a little earlier this evening.
Yeah, it's lost a lot of strength. It's a bit stronger there to the south, heading into Breckinridge County, which, Ben, here's an area we need to be watching out for, is right there.
Yeah.
Starting to get a little bit of a kink there in the line. Let's put on our velocity products here. Don't quite see too much there yet, but that's something we're going to have to keep a close eye on, as it's going to be that southern edge of the storm now that's probably, rather of that squall line, that's probably going to be causing us any problems if we were to see any additional problems arise there. So that's something we'll be watching very carefully, but at the same time, as the rest of that squall line kind of catches up to it, it can kind of overcome it, so to say, overcome some of those leading edges, and then it just turns into a significant wind threat.
And I'm curious too, Alden, is as you back up the view again, that all these unorganized clusters of showers and thunderstorms kind of eating up on the energy that this squall line was using alone for its own strong, keeping itself very strong. Looks like we got a new severe thunderstorm warning out, and we'll see where that is here in just one moment. But this area, as you mentioned, Alden, is kind of bulging out right here. So there could be the potential. Usually look at the apex of this curvature right here, this bow echo, and that's where you can sometimes get some of those jet stream winds to come down to the surface and cause some damaging straight line winds. So we're definitely going to watch out here in Breckinridge County for the potential of some isolated damaging wind gusts. Heavy rain, lightning, thunder, all those severe weather threats we're still watching for. Low threat of a tornado, a little spin up possible with some of those curvatures, those kinks in the line that Alden was mentioning. So we're watching that very closely too. So here's a look at the new severe thunderstorm warning that we have for Scott County, includes of course Scottsburg. This is right along, this is exit 29 up I-65. So about 30 miles to the north of Louisville is where we have a new severe thunderstorm warning for the potential of some large hail and some destructive winds. Yeah.
That severe thunderstorm warning is until midnight, moving to the east at 65 miles per hour. So That one's booking it.
It's kind of good and bad. It's going to be in and out very quickly, but when these storms move so quickly, sometimes they do pack a lot of wind strength. This goes into western Jefferson County in Indiana, so just out to the west of Hanover and the Saluda area. On this track, heading towards Scottsburg at about 11:30 into Lexington, Indiana at around 11:35, and to Saluda at 11:45, into Hanover at 10:45 Central Time. I don't know why that is Central Time. 11:45 Eastern Time, and then Brooksburg as we approach midnight. So we have a lot of rainfall coming down. This is torrential rainfall. If we start to get these areas that are already experiencing a lot of heavy rainfall to continue to see a lot of heavy rainfall that's coming in from the west, there could be some pockets of some localized flooding to watch for too. So just another one of the concerns that we're keeping a close eye on. So just to get your bearings here, Louisville is right down here. Here's I-71 where we have some heavy rain through Carroll County, Trimble County, and then we've got that new severe thunderstorm warning that takes you from just east of Salem, east central Washington County and into Scott County and just the western portion of Jefferson County and Indiana. We still have
Ben, you did mention flooding problems, flooding concerns. There is a flood advisory for Trimble County, Kentucky. That is until 3:15 in the morning. So that is something we're going to be watching for next, are those localized areas of potential flooding. Some good news, though, they are beginning to trim some of those tornado watched counties at the moment. So as I accidentally keep clicking past it there, but they have dropped Orange and Du Bois County from that tornado watch. So as we see that main line of thunderstorms push through the area, that's also going to eliminate that tornado threat. So we're going to continue to see those counties be slowly but surely dropped from that tornado watch from west to east across the area tonight.
And I've been keeping my eyes on the Scottsburg camera of where that severe thunderstorm warning is about to enter. It's pretty quiet, but we're starting to see that camera start to shake. If we could pull that up there. So that severe thunderstorm warning is heading its way. The wind is about to pick up there. I think that visibility is about to get very minimal across the Scottsburg area. Ben?
Yeah, no doubt. And still, again, 74 degrees our current temperature. And back to radar, we just have a few severe thunderstorm warnings. And look at those frequent flashes of lightning. And it is almost a summer-like night where you have those frequent lightning strikes coming down just one after another. So this is definitely going to keep a lot of us up here late tonight. A lot of us going to be a little bit tired at work and school for tomorrow with the severe thunderstorm warnings that we have and that we're continuing to track across the area. So this is a live view from the water tower in downtown Scottsburg, Indiana, and looking out towards where we have those thunderstorms. So back to the radar and back to the main areas of concern.
Max, excuse me, Will, can you switch to Max 3, please? Our main computer here is freezing up, our main program. So I have radar up on Max 3. That's what we'll be looking at here for the next couple of minutes as we get our other computer here functioning, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, these computers are chugging on a lot of data. I mean, lots of lightning strikes. This is a lot of data, so Max 1 needs to take a little breather. We're going over to Max 3 here. We've always got several backups just in case. So downtown getting some heavy rainfall. We have the severe thunderstorm warning over much of Clark County, new severe thunderstorm warning here over Scott County, western Jefferson County. No tornado warnings at this time. Thankfully, we do have a tornado watch that continues until 4 a.m. You've got more thunderstorms here in clusters through Bullitt County. Strong thunderstorm here, likely with some hail. We're starting to see some darker colors. The new tornado warning, by the way. Alden, that's what you're watching here just a few minutes ago. That little kink, that little curl, that notch has tightened right there a little bit. So you've got this curl right there. So that's that area of concern. Potential tornado here in central Breckenridge County.